Hello, and in this video I'm making a Jughandle intersection. And a Jughandle intersection is basically a ramp or a slip road that changes the way that traffic turns left if it's driving on the right hand side of the road. So if you want to make a left turn at this junction, you have to take a right. You must take a right and up the slip road and around and then straight across the intersection. This is obviously a intersection that's traffic light controlled, otherwise it would be impossible. It's most well known, I suppose, in America for being in New Jersey, I believe. The research I've done, it shows a lot of people. It's a lot of people know it from New Jersey, and it's called the Jersey Left or something. That's its sort of nickname, I suppose. From what I've read, it looks like the advantages and the disadvantages sort of weigh each other out, and it seems almost pointless to have. It's very interesting, the intersection itself, but maybe there's disadvantages or advantages that I don't know about. But all I've read online is that it just removes conflict points between you and the traffic on the other side of the road, because you've got your own light to go on. I'm not really sure it's worth all this extra effort in building the infrastructure, really, because it's a lot more work to then simply have the traffic allowed to turn left. You've got to build this entire extra little loop bit. But the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the petrol station or gas station or whatever it's called in America. It's called a petrol station over here. I used the new decals from Ronix to sort of merge the road with the forecourt of the petrol station. I had this idea to do ages ago, and then when I saw Strict Toaster's video and he did this with a Costco, I thought I better give this a full go. I'd done a couple tiny things, but I'd never linked it to the road in such a way that it worked. What I've found the best way to link it is, because there is obviously there's a pavement or a curb, you've got to somehow link them in a way that makes sense, because the assets that allow you to place decals on them don't conform to the terrain, so they'll just stick out and they won't go obviously down the pavement and onto the road. So what I've found was, for the first time, I used these tiny decals, which are just normal decals that conform to the terrain, but you can't place any other textures on them. But what I did on the other side is I used the new rumple strip decal from Ronix as well, and I thought that it blended it in very well. It was like a very smooth transition that you would have in real life. It worked nicely. Instead of having a slightly different colour of texture and then just nothing, it sort of made it feel more real, I suppose. And what I tried to do with this petrol station is to merge concrete with tarmac or asphalt, and I did that also with the rumple strips. I was thinking about doing it with the concrete decal, but the rumple strips just work so well and they look so good that that's what I use all the time. Because even though I do like the fact that it blends in with the road, there are a lot of places where it will be tarmac up to a certain point, and then it changes into concrete or a lighter tarmac. Especially where I'm from, there's a lot of variation in tarmac and concrete, and they match together. And where they match, there's always either big slabs, I guess, to make it nice, or small bricks. So that's the way I've found it. The nicest way is with the rumple strips. They're very nice. Going back to the Jughandle intersection, it surprisingly works extremely well within the game. Like, this is on a main highway or motorway running through the map, and there has never once been a backup. The whole time I was running the simulation, never once was there a backup. I mean, there wasn't much traffic going down on the left-hand turn. There was a small town, but this intersection could work. A medium-sized town, it would work very well, I would say. I mean, it seemed to work extremely well, and especially with traffic precedent, it just makes the vehicles choose lanes better and reduces the lines of traffic. All in all, a great intersection, which I may try and build more often, because it just adds an interesting sort of dynamic, I suppose. Interesting way to come off the motorway or the highway. Now, while I was recording this, I was having problems with my PC. I don't know if anyone else is having this problem, but occasionally the game would start flickering like mad, and it just, I don't know, it just was crazy. Just the screen was flickering and it would crash. Like, I think it crashed twice while making this over a couple hours, which is a lot more than normal. It doesn't normally crash as often as it did, but I did manage to get through it, and I hope it was just a mod confliction, because when I recorded this, one of the mods that deals with I can't remember what it's called now. It's in the bottom right hand side of the screen, the little sun with the clouds. The guy who made it updated it and added a time thing to it so that you could change the time, and obviously I've got time warp, and it was messing with that, and that might have been the reason why it was flickering like mad. But I haven't played the game since he's fixed it and updated it so you can turn it off, basically. I think that's what he said, but it was very interesting to find out. There's not much more to say other than when you use these decals on the ground, make sure to use a lot of other decals, like a lot of cracks, a lot of tyre marks, because otherwise it looks too flat, the actual texture itself. It's got to be heavily detailed, which is the only problem with the asphalt decal mod, that you have to use a massive amount of decals on top of it, otherwise it just looks too plain. So as you can see, I'm going around adding car parking spaces throughout this whole thing, trying to add it a bit more variance in the colours. But I do go around after and fill in like loads of cracks where, like, on the joins between the road and the forecourt, and just cracks around the place where trucks would have driven, and a lot of tyre marks, which are Ronix's decals as well. They're like going around over the intersection and into the forecourts. So I'm going to let the time lapse run, and I will hope to see you next time.